Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope, and show you a technique that can help you cope. I'm your host, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork. And if you are here on a podcast platform, YouTube, Facebook, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And especially if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and some feedback as well. Now, today, I have a fellow podcaster on the show, y'all. That's right. We about to talk shop right here with Ashley Franklin. Now, Ashley is from Chicago Heights, Illinois, and she has been in the military for 9 years, but she also loves to produce and write short films and produce meditation and soundscape background music. Yes. She's also a podcast consultant, and she hosts the Love.me podcast, the self-love podcast to help you grow as you go on your self-love journey. And let's not forget that she's an amazing cook, and she just loves to get down in the kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Ashley Franklin. What's up, Ashley?
What's going on? How are you doing, Charles?
I am doing so amazing. I did not expect that back from you. What's going on, Charles? Like, don't act different now. Don't act different now.
I bet I had my professional voice on for a minute.
No, you did. Don't do that. Stop
right.
it. Hey, so when did you start to get into like producing stuff? Like, did you write and produce short films first, or did you start making music first?
I started doing short films first. As soon as I moved to Southern California, I have a lot of friends in LA and LA Film School. And my first year back in 2018, we started doing a lot of short films, and I started PAing on a lot of short films. And I also help with like lighting and cinematography. It's my passion. Like, I love it.
Don't start throwing acronyms out there. What's PA?
Oh, PA is like production assistant.
Okay.
So not personal assistant, but production assistant. So you get in where you fit in on the set. So if they need you for lights, you do lights. If they need you to move something, you know, it's Jack Jill of all trades. So I love it.
So you just wanted to be close to like the action.
Yeah, I love it. Like that's how you learn like PAing. Because if you say, I want to be a director, somebody's not going to put you on as a director right away. They're going to be like, what you know about directing? Like, what's your credentials? You know what I mean? But if you PA, somebody's more willing to share their information with you if you help versus saying, this is what I want and that's it. Because you come off as closed. You got to be receptive. Yeah. You know, you got to give to get.
Hey, man, look at you already spitting that knowledge. So were you already good at making like short films and like binds and like little small things like that already?
When I was younger in high school, I remember I saved my money. I worked at the library and I saved my money up for like a couple years, and I bought my first Sony Handycam camcorder, and I would like walk around and like record people. I worked at the library, so sometimes I'd be like recording weird short films, and then I got to do one for my French class, and then everybody's like, you did that? I was like, yeah, I did that, because I had my clips, and then I had little transitions, so I have a little bit of editing, you know, skill set here and there. And then growing up, I loved music videos because I wanted to direct music videos. That was like, I love movies. I love film.
Who was your favorite director?
I'm gonna say, and the song's cliche, Quentin Tarantino. And I love Ava DuVernay.
Ava DuVernay, is that the lady that made like Martin Luther King movie? Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, she's done a lot, and she's got a show, actually a Black young superhero show coming out that's in the making right now. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Bet. I love we're in all the spaces. Like, we've been here, but people are just now recognizing, like, you know, who's been there. She's been in the game for a while, so she's an inspiration.
That's beautiful. Like, so you got into producing film. Like, so you've been producing films for a long time. You just wanted to be close to it when you got into Hollywood. So like, how many short films have you produced now? Where can we find them?
I've done 3 or 4. Only one of them was in a film festival my friends did. I didn't do any of the editing or anything. I honestly don't know where they're at. Most of them are like pet projects that they submitted in film school. So like in LA Film School, you could probably find them in their archives, and they just use them for their grades. Yeah.
You gotta find those and put those on YouTube. Put those out.
I do. The copyright for the music. That's the biggest issue, because like they had one of them was called Back in the Day, and they had the song Back in the Day when I was young. And there's a copyright issue, so we couldn't post it on YouTube. So because they were learning like in film school. So we'd have to take the music out or not monetize it, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as you don't monetize it, you can put in whatever music that you want to.
I know they want to monetize. They trying
to get cash. So then you started producing meditation and soundscape background music. How did you get started in that?
My sister is a yoga practitioner. She's been doing yoga and instructing yoga for years, since I was a little girl. And I started doing yoga with her maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And the music there is so calming, and like sitting at the beach, I was just like, man, what if I had this in my house? Like, what was her name? Enya, back in the 90s. Like, I was like, what if we had something like that? And so like, I started just working on regular soundscapes and stuff just for people who have yoga studios, right? Or like people who want to listen to something calming. Cause I had people hit me up like, oh yeah, you make music and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, not really, but soundscapes, like thinking music, studying music.
Yeah.
And then now I want to make something that's more for Black people and people of color, that is like, letting the water run through the coils of your hair with like affirmations and things like that, and backing tracks. So like I have water recorded from the ocean along with like my calm soundscapes with no bass, because I wanted to do bass, but I realized it's a little hard to focus.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be nodding your head too much as you're trying to have an outer body experience.
But it's inspiring. Like, I love it.
That's beautiful. So like, once again, you're sitting on $1 million idea right here. You're making music. All you got to do, like, have you ever seen any of the channels on YouTube that have the calm music?
Yeah, that's where it's coming next. So like, I just need a background. So I got to go take my camera out to the beach, and I'm just gonna like let it run and just go on repeat. Like, that's the goal. Or might just get stock stuff.
Yes, get the stock stuff, yo. The stock,
right?
Yo,
I'm like literally sitting.
You sitting on $1 million, like you sitting on your own music, right? And you're all like, the stock stuff is like, it's either free or it's not. It's not much music at all, or it's not much money at all.
No,
you can't. Are you familiar with Final Cut Pro?
I've heard of Final Cut Pro. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I use. Are you familiar with Apple? Was it
iMovie?
iMovie.
I have iMovie and I have DaVinci Resolve.
Yo, so you can put everything into iMovie. Yo,
that's easy, and just drop
transitions, and just have everything on repeat for 2-3 hours. So for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, she has music that is very calming. There's multiple channels out there on YouTube where people literally take these stock videos of like a beautiful landscape and a waterfall or a flower, right? and the rain. And they will have this on repeat for about 2-3 hours. And they'll have hundreds of thousands, if sometimes not millions of views on these videos. So she can do the same thing. In fact, she will do the same thing.
I definitely will.
And whatever's holding you back.
Thank you so much. Hopefully I drop that baggage.
Yeah, for real. Like, ain't no hopefully about it. You're on the Drop Your Baggage podcast.
Thanks.
In fact, speaking of podcasts, you've been podcasting for a while now, for almost 2 years. Like, tell us about how you started your podcasting career.
Oh, wow. So I ended up starting my podcasting career. I was sitting here and at work, we all go through the rigmarole of wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and then just over and over, same thing. And I was like, something's missing. Like, I want to be happy. And I had just started doing short films, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do it. I was doubting myself. And I was like, what do I know about podcasts? Like, I heard everybody saying like, you don't know anything about podcasts. Who's going to listen to you? And then I was just like, well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then I wanted to grow and be better. Like, I knew the military wasn't for me. And I was just like, well, where am I going to go? What's going to help me? Like, then I was like, I don't know myself. And in the process of self-discovery and having that awareness, like, it's like awareness is the first step of anything. It's almost like the 12 steps, like admitting you have a problem. I was admitting that I had a problem. Like, I don't know me. And I was like, I don't even know if I love myself. And that like hit me hard, because I was doing all these things and trying to please people and help them out and, be that go-to. But I was like, who's the go-to for myself? Because I'm not even the go-to for myself. And so I started really just looking and reflecting, like, what is it that I want? And then in all that came like me learning about limiting beliefs and the things that I believe that I got from other people, but it wasn't me. Like, that, it perplexed me. That I was like, yo, that's not me. And then I went deeper and deeper into myself. And I was like, this is what my podcast is going to be about. It's going to be about self-love, because it's not something that we're always taught. Like sometimes we're taught that in a sense of buying things for ourselves, right? We're doing something physical, but what about the spiritual and the mental? You know what I mean? What about those things that hurt us in the past that we're still holding on to? Like we need to learn how to grow from that on, and it's a journey, like, and it's not linear. Cause I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to therapy and boom, be fixed, or I'm gonna read this book, boom, be fixed. And it's deeper than that. Like I learned that I had to put in the work, and I want to tell everybody, like, if you anything that you really want, you have to work for it. And that includes yourself. And it's like, how am I going to love somebody else when I don't even fully love me? And that's where love me came from, because we have to love ourselves. Nobody's going to love us more than we love ourselves. And that can and will affect our relationships with other people, with coworkers, with boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses, families, and things like that, because that has to do with setting boundaries. We have to sometimes set boundaries for other people, but not just that, set boundaries for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize that I had to set boundaries with people at work, boundaries with some of my closest friends. Like it is crazy. And then the podcast, I just started really talking to myself. And then when I realized I wasn't just talking to myself, I was talking to other people, because people were giving me feedback like, I have a really hard time. Like sometimes I get down on myself, and like self-talk is such a big thing. We don't realize how we talk to ourselves. That little voice in your head, that little voice in your head. Sometimes those ideas don't come from us. Those come from limiting beliefs from other people. And then we tend to ruminate on that stuff and just keep thinking about it, and just over and over. And you just really have to retrain yourself to love yourself.
Amen. How did you learn about limiting beliefs?
I learned about, funny story. I learned about limiting beliefs through reading several books. One of them was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yes. Yo, I was just reading that last night. Yo, that's crazy.
That's it. And what is it? The Power of the Unconscious Mind. And then I just done like a lot of work, and doing the work, it included reading books, taking in YouTube content, like listening to Tony Robbins, listening to Tom Bilyeu on impact theory, listening to
shout out to Tom.
Facts. I love Tom. And who else was it? He's a monk, and he's very
Jay.
Forgive me. Yes, Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty.
Like when I started, that's how I started my journey, just consuming content. And we have all these free resources out here, and we are breaking generational curses, and we don't even know it. And some people, it's like, I want to heal myself, not just for myself, but for those around me. And then when I have a family, like I want to cultivate that relationship and healthy relationships.
Yes.
I don't want to put my BS on other people.
Yes.
Because that's toxic. That's like planting seeds. It's like planting sunflowers that I don't even want. And I can't be mad that I keep planting sunflowers and harvesting them over and over again. That's basically the definition of insanity. Like, oh my God, why are all these sunflowers here? Like, no, this is mine. This is my BS. Like, I'm not happy where I'm at here. And that's what it was. What made me start podcasting and want to get out of the military. I'm not happy here. Why am I still here?
Yeah.
Because I'm going through autopilot. No, take control. We are all in control of ourselves and our minds, whether we know it or not, or we say we are, but we don't do anything about it. Because that's the thing. A lot of people, we talk, but we need to put in the work and do the action. And it's not easy at all. I can say that. It's not easy.
Putting in the action.
Yeah, put in that action. Like sometimes it comes in the form of a plan. Sometimes everything doesn't have to be planned, but to do something for that change, like think, reflect on what it is that you have an issue with, like the core issues. And sometimes you can get outside help in the form of a coach, a therapist, a mentor. But so many people, like COVID, so many people had a hard time being with themselves. And in that, like, we did one of two things. We either sat with it and dealt with it, or we sat with it and pushed to the side and continued to bring other distractions in so we can hide what we don't like about ourselves.
Real talk.
And that right there, that was like a real hard look in the mirror. There was a lot of looking in the mirror for me, because my limiting beliefs, I'd be talking myself out of stuff. And then that's why I just did the podcast. I was just like, just do it. Just Nike. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold on to all this information and that I want to share with people and never share. And then I'll wake up. I don't want to wake up 10, 30, 40 years from now,
Mhm.
wondering like, well, what if I did this? No, I'm going to do it. There's
Mhm.
no excuse for me not to do anything. Sorry, I'm getting real passionate right now.
No, it's fine. Girl, please go for it.
There's nothing that we can't do. If it's just like, we're just in our own heads. Like someone told me that I wanted to be a teacher.
Mhm.
I wanted to be a math teacher a long time ago. And somebody's like, and a music teacher. And they were like, you're not going to make any money being a teacher. And so I internalized that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, what else can I find that I'm good at? But it's like, that's really what I was good at and passionate about. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do for years and years and years. So I went to school and did what everybody expected of me, live life. I lived life from 18 to 25, 26. And then I joined the Navy. Like I went to college, but I didn't finish because I dropped out because I was hurt. I lost my dad and stuff. And I had unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I didn't know how to deal with grief, which carried on with me for years until I put in that work. And then I joined the Navy I was thinking like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to listen to what everybody says. Oh, you could do 20, 30 years and you could retire, get that pension. But that wasn't really what I wanted, but I didn't know that. It just sounded good. And that's what happens with limiting beliefs. It just sounds good. But just because it sounds good doesn't mean it's your truth. And that was heavy. Like when I realized that in 2018, 2019, I was like, yo, this isn't even my truth right now. Like, this is not what I want. I'm not happy. And people just, because it's easy to keep going the wrong direction than to stop and go against the grain in what you know and go in a better direction for you. People are just happy. So I know nothing wrong with the military. I love it. And it's helped me get to where I'm at and grow, which is great. But it's just not for me anymore. There are bigger, better things I'm destined for. And the podcast, I'm sharing all this knowledge with people and like the music, like the vibes and learning about ourselves. Like I love everybody and I love me.
What were some of the things that you had to accept about yourself?
Ooh, man. Things I had to accept about myself. I had to accept that I was different. That was a really big thing because learning that you're different, like I was always called weird and stuff when I was younger and like, you're a nerd and you like this. But that's part of my individuality and it's okay. Like I had to learn it's okay to be me. It's okay to like the things that I like. And I don't have to like what everybody else likes. And not only that, I don't have to add on to people's conversations that they're having. I can keep my thoughts to myself and I don't have to piggyback or like get that herd mentality that people like to get when they want to start talking negatively, because that's energy. That's negative energy and that flows through us. And sometimes we don't realize it until after. And then we'll be like, why do I feel like this?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I'm unmotivated to do anything?
Yeah.
And that was the hard thing to learn. And I realized the culture, not Black culture, but military culture and just everywhere when we're out and about, people like to gossip. And birds of a feather, let me tell you, they flock together and they be flying and they'll take you somewhere where you didn't think you were going to be. And then you wake up and realize you're somewhere and like, oh, dang, how'd I end up here? This is not where I wanted to be. And that's a lot of how I ended up in a lot of situations growing up. And I don't want that anymore. And I recognize that in myself, that going forward, I want to do what makes me happy. I have the courage. Like that's the other thing. You have to build up courage. It's like a muscle. Everything is like a muscle, and you got to get your sets and reps in and really stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself. Like I've had so many situations this last year where I had to really advocate because other people weren't, because they were advocating for themselves, which can overshadow what you need and what you want. And those are boundaries. I had to learn about boundaries. I had to learn about boundaries for myself. Boundaries for my family, and especially for my friends. Because we all have those friends that are out here and they're living life like it's golden or doing the best with what they got, and stuff like that. But sometimes it's like the hard part is looking in the mirror and be like, am I really doing my best with what I got? Or am I settling and just doing the minimum or just going on with life because it's comfortable?
Yeah.
And I also learned I don't like to be comfortable. I want to be uncomfortable. I want to grow, because those growing pains, that's what helps you flourish as a person and get to that next level. Like you can't say, I want to I can't be like, I want to be a podcaster and then write all this stuff or have analysis paralysis and buy all this equipment and be like, I want this mic, I want this, and then never do anything with it.
Yeah.
Talk is cheap. It's not even about putting your money where your mouth is. It's about putting the work in, getting in where you fit in, like literally. And I've learned that not just myself, like it's hard to put the work in. Like sometimes I saw when I just didn't want to do it. And it's about getting up when you don't want to get up. It's about having grit. It's about having discipline. It's about having that awareness about yourself, especially studying and going back to school, because I'm not old, but I'm older, in my mid-30s, going back to school and feeling like, oh my God, I'm stupid. No, you're not. That's that self-talk. That's that voice. That's that thing in my mind that I'm just thinking. And it's not a fact. That's the thing. These things that we think in our minds are not facts. It's just copying. It's just a cop-out. I could be a math major if I wanted to. I just have to put in the work and get that thought out of my mind and replace that thought with, I can do what I want. I can learn this. I can go be a basket weaver. That's what people choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go become a sommelier and learn about wine. Like there's no reason for that. Like someday I want to have, I'm creating a nonprofit. Like I in my mind, I was like, I can't do a nonprofit. Like, what do I know about that? So like, what do I know? But you know what I know? I know the military. I have my experience. I want to give back to people of color in the military because that's my experience and our stories don't get told. And I want to tell those stories in the form of short films, as well as giving back to homeless veterans and things like that. But because it's my experience, I do know. And that we sell ourselves short on what we actually know because of other people be like, you don't know anything about that. It's like, actually, yes, I do. But we have to have the courage and the grit to stand up and be like, I know this, like, and give yourself that confidence. And I wasn't confident for a while. Like, I was just like, it was like imposter syndrome to the max.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't think I'm good enough to do this. I'm not, I don't think I can do it because that's not where I come from. I don't come from a rich family. I don't come from a poor family either, but it's just like, I don't have anything. Like that was the mindset I had. Like, I don't have the money to do this.
Right.
That lack mindset. And so you have to have a mindset of abundance because there's no shortage of money out here. There's no shortage of podcasters, but there is a shortage of podcasters that have longevity and endurance. With anything that there is that you want to do, you have to have the endurance and stamina to keep pushing. If you're not pushing out podcast episodes, then you need to be writing. You need to be reaching out to people. You need to be guesting on people's shows, or you need to be like, I do consulting. It's like, I need to be doing something to up my skills. And like, it's like playing basketball. Like you have to practice, got to get those sets and reps. And otherwise you're going to wake up and be like, man, where'd the time go? I had this great idea this one time. Everybody always hate that person to come around. You always know, family reunions, kickbacks. Yeah, this one time I had this great idea. And then you just looking at them. That's what everybody say. This one time I wanted to join the military. I always hear that everywhere I go. And I just be looking at people like, all right. But you didn't.
It fills you full of regret as well at the end of the day as well. And that's something that weighs so heavy. A little bit of regret and also some shame too, that you didn't go through what you said you wanted to do. Before oh my gosh, I don't even know if we're going to be able to talk about the podcast, like the ins and outs of the podcast. What type of boundaries did you have to set for yourself and others?
Boundaries I had to set for myself were making time for myself, and that as a non-negotiable. Because too often, like I hate to say, I was a people pleaser, and not even a people pleaser. I always tried to help everybody.
But
when you're trying to help everybody, what about helping when you need help, right? And then you feel overwhelmed, like nobody's going to help me. And then you're thinking in your mind, and you have to stop that, put that boundary up for those thoughts, and B, put the boundary up like, okay, I can't do this anything else for you. Like you are emotionally draining me with your situation right now, or I don't have the energy and I don't have the bandwidth. Boundaries that I've had to set, like, and sucks to say, like for families, it made me cringe a little bit. for boundaries for families is like really hard for some people, but I know like people who want to borrow money, you have to kind of put that down. Like it hurts. Listen, and you be feeling bad, like, man, it's my cousin, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's whoever. Like I can't give them any money because I'm just enabling them. And you really have to look at that. Like, are you really helping them? Maybe you don't have to give them, how you say, ways to make money, because maybe that's what they want. Obviously, if it was, then that's what they'd be doing, and that's the harsh reality of it. And it sucks to suck, but I mean, it is what it is. And then at work, you got to put boundaries up at work. Like, I'm in the military, we're on duty, quote unquote, 24/7. No, we not. Sometimes we not. If nothing's going on, you have to let them know, like, hey, if there's anything else you need, let me know in the morning. Try not to call me like afterward. Like, tell me now.
Yeah.
Don't tell me at 7:00 at night. Don't hit me up at 6 a.m. Working hour starts at 7 to 4:30.
All right. So somebody out there is ready to set these boundaries, but they may have been where you were right before you set those boundaries. Talk about the fear that you had before setting the boundaries and how you got over that fear.
Listen, that fear is a mother.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and
it is.
You feel that fire in your gut, and you feel like your heart pumping, especially when you don't know what to do and you've never done it before. And it's that first time. And that fear is like, I don't want this person to not love me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want this person to stop talking to me. Like, I don't want them to hate me. I don't want them to dislike me and, ostracize me, or whatever the case may be, or I don't want to get cussed out, all that. But it's that voice. The voices, we are our own worst enemy. We are our own worst critic. And you got to think about that. Don't always think what's the worst that's going to happen and play all these scenarios, as some people say, in your head. You keep playing these situations, you're wasting time. B, you hyping yourself up unnecessarily and giving yourself anxiety. The best way to practice boundaries is just to do it. And if you want to do it in an easy way, it can sound like, hey, I don't have it right now. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, I really wish I could. No, just, you have to get comfortable saying no. Even if it sounds stupid, if you have to go in your bathroom mirror and you just play that scenario of you saying no out.
Yeah.
Just to say it, just to get it to roll off your tongue. It seems really silly, but the power of practice sometimes, like I'm telling you, sets the reps. Y'all gonna get tired of hearing me say it, but just doing it, because if you've never done it, if you're doing something that you've never done before, sometimes practicing it will help ease that anxiety a little bit. You're still going to be anxious that first time. And when you're in that mindset, because especially if it's somebody that you don't want to not love you, because you don't, man, you don't want that, but they're still going to love you, even if you say no, because they've told you no before.
Yeah.
Did you not love them when they told you no? You have to switch it. Like, everybody's been told no.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. Like, nothing is the end of the world is the end of the world. It ain't happened yet. We still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just.
Hey, what a perspective though. Like, hey, that's a hell of a perspective to say, like, you've been told no before and you still didn't stop loving that person. So you were afraid that they weren't going to love you anymore. And this fear of abandonment, this fear of rejection, this fear of judgment. You say no. What was the aftermath? What happened?
It wasn't even that bad.
Really?
It wasn't. Like, it was kind of that silent moment. Like, wait, what? I was establishing the boundary. And another reason that was kind of a very unique moment, because back in the day, little baby Ashley was real quiet. I didn't talk a whole lot. I had a cousin tell me, oh, wow, you have a lot of personality now, because I was that quiet. And for me to say stuff and like stand up on my own too, like as an adult, threw everybody off. They were like, oh, snap. Okay, Ashley. Like, because it was just silent and I could just hear them like, okay, that was it. Just okay. And they didn't ask anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't not love me anymore. They still call me. We have regular conversations. It's not awkward. Like, it's as if we just had a newfound understanding.
Yeah.
Like, you get mad when you ask somebody for, well, people probably don't ask for like money, but when you jokingly be like, hey, let me get $1 million. No, like, it's not the end of the world. You're not thinking about all that.
No.
When you go to the store asking them for something, they say no. It's really that simple. We just make things more complicated. But the only reason is because this little 5-6 pound thing between our ears, it just has the power to do so much. and impact our lives, and we don't use it in the right way. That
Man.
energy can be used for something else.
And also, I think we underestimate the relationships that we do have with those people as well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think that they're that strong, that the two letters of no, the one word of no, cannot help this or that relationship sustain. Like it's that it's gonna crumble under that one word.
One
and
word,
it's not
no.
it's not even like that.
Yeah.
Just the clear communication, and clear communication is way better than miscommunication, because if you were to say yes to someone and you don't really mean it, and you know it's against your own benefit and your own good, then you're going to end up resenting that person.
All the resentment. Exactly.
Yeah,
and you're not going to know it.
Not healthy. It's not
healthy
at all.
And it'll
It's not
bubble
good
up
for the
at some point in
relationship.
time.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
And then also, and then it's like, if you clearly communicate a no to someone and those boundaries to yourself and others, then there's that clear communication that issue doesn't have to come up anymore. And if it does come up, then you know what the results are going to be.
Exactly.
Good stuff, yo. Congratulations on all. Okay, so how's the podcast going?
The podcast is actually going pretty good. I'm still streaming, and I'm about to come out with my 3rd season next month. Gonna write a love letter to myself for Valentine's Day that I think everybody should do, because we do love ourselves, and sometimes we need to remind ourselves why we love ourselves and things that we like about ourselves. Most people don't even know. I heard somebody, I said, "What's your favorite thing about yourself?" She said, "My friends." I was like, right. So I was like, let me go ahead and remind myself, and then hopefully this resonates with other people as well.
Amen. It definitely will. That's dope. That's dope as hell. Wow. So I am like, you're about to get a treat, because here on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. And that technique is the mental and emotional release process. It's an NLP technique, simple guided meditation. Now, I got to let you know that I am not a counselor or a social worker or a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I am an alternative to all of those amazing professions. And I help people with their mindset in a unique and different way. Well, let me talk to the audience real quick. If you all would like to go through, if anything is bugging you at all, if you feel like you're holding yourself back in any way, shape, or form, if you feel like that you have any limiting beliefs, just like the limiting beliefs that Ashley was talking about earlier, if you feel like that you're not reaching your full potential because of your internal dialogue, then go ahead, contact me. Go to charleswoolfork.com. If you scroll down on the homepage, there's a form. Fill out the form, and you can go ahead and you can do the mental and emotional release process with me. And I can't wait to be a blessing to you. Now, Ashley.
Amen. I'm ready.
Now,
but I'm ready.
You're ready. Today we're going to be releasing the limiting belief that I'm not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. How's that been affecting you?
It's been affecting me a lot. That's like a constant thing. Like, I'm not good enough, because it's that imposter syndrome, because it's always like, well, who's better? Like somebody's always better than me at something. Well, I mean, that's kind of life, but it's hard, because I'll try to accomplish something, and then I'll be like, no, I'm not good enough sometimes. Like, not at this point. Well, sometimes a little bit, but it still gets to me. It still gets me sometimes, even at work. Like I'm like, I don't know if I'm the one. Like, people will congratulate me for something, like, oh, good job on this. Like I just got some programming certifications. Good. And I didn't think I was good enough and smart enough to even be able to do that. And look what I did. But it's hard, because growing up, like I said, I was really quiet. So nobody really had that expectation of me. So I was always underestimated. I've always been the underdog. And everybody loves a good underdog story, but nobody wants to live it. Nobody wants to be the main character in that underdog story, because that's a lot of work. And sometimes the underdog doesn't always make it. And that's the thing. I'm afraid of failure. And sometimes this is gonna sound cringy, but the thing about failure, sometimes it's just better to not try. But it's not. It's better but that's what the voice in my head will say. It'll say it's better to not try. But really, in all actuality, it's better to try and fail than to not try at all.
Yes.
And that's the thing I have to like really keep in my head. I have to keep that promise to myself that if anything, I'll try, and I'll have to reframe what I say. When I'll tell people, they'll be like, oh yeah, you're doing really good. And I'd be like, no, I'm trying there. And then I always tell people, I'll be like, no, you're doing, but I don't do that to myself. I give that to other people before I give it to me. And that's like the I'm not good enough mentality. Like it's still like I'm doing better, but it still resonates in my mind. And I'm completely blind to it most of the time because I was like, I'll try.
How is this one statement, this one internal dialogue held you back from doing? Like, what has it held you back from doing?
It's held me back from going back to school sooner. I've had the opportunity to go back to school for the last 9 years. I went back one time and I had to stop because of work obligations. And I was in an area I couldn't study. And then now, like I've been here and I haven't deployed during these 3 years. Like I literally have no excuse to have not been going to school. Other than in my mind, I'm like, I'm just older. I don't think I could do it. Maybe I'll try later when I think I'm ready, when I think I'm good enough to do it. Like I'm in that head, like when I'm smarter, like I'll be smarter. Like, no, it literally, it's that voice. And then I'll be like later, and then later happens, and then later happens again. And then time, and look at 4 years, I got here in 2018. It's 2022.
You could have graduated by now.
I could have graduated. I could have had a whole bachelor's. And thinking about that, I'm like, dang.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing about limiting beliefs, because I ask people, who have had a limiting belief or some type of negative emotion that's been holding them back for years, sometimes decades. I ask them something like that, where it's accumulated over time. And I'll ask like, hey, so how much money do you think you've left on the table in your business because of your limiting belief? And they'll say 6 figures to millions. I'm like, yo, let's get rid of this, yo. That is a lot. It's a crazy, just because one moment after another moment, we don't take up on the opportunity. One opportunity after another opportunity passes by. One relationship after another passes by. One creation after another isn't created.
Who are you telling? I got on this bookshelf. I got all the books. I got little notebooks for ideas. Money on the table.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. Yeah.
How do you think life is going to look without this limiting belief?
I feel like I might be driving the Ferrari of life.
Ooh.
I feel like I might be. I feel like I'll be able to do more with confidence.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I need a slight confidence boost.
Gotcha.
To just go.
Yeah.
Without second guessing.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to second guess. That wastes so much time. And I'll have time.
Right.
Literally, I'll just do it. That's the thing. Like I have the initiative. I just need to do it.
So let's get in touch with the mind and body connection.
Okay.
So when you think about the times where you felt that fear, that when you had that internal dialogue that I'm not good enough, where do you feel it in your body?
I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. My body flushes sometimes and I get really warm. And I stop. Sometimes I talk to my therapist about, sometimes I stop breathing when I get really focused on something like that. And I don't realize I'm not breathing. Yeah. Especially when I'm talking, I'll just and be out of breath. I'm like, why am I out of breath? I start to like get really defensive with myself.
So you tense up a bit.
Yeah, I tense up a lot. Yeah, I definitely feel it. My heart will just be going.
Yeah. Do you feel it right now?
A little bit. I'm a little nervous right now, so I kind of feel it. Like I'm like sitting here fidgeting with my fingers, like, oh man. Like I'm re-experiencing it, like Joe Dispenza says. Think about something, you experience it again,
all over again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how intense do you think it is?
Like a 7 or 8.
7 or 8, yeah.
On a regular day. On a bad day, it's like a 15.
Yo, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
So With this guided meditation, there's only 3 things that you need to do in order for you to have a profound experience. Number 1, you need to use your imagination. Number 2, you need to follow directions, just like you follow a Google Maps or a good recipe. And number 3, you got to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide and I'll be leading you through this easily and effortlessly. And and I come from a place of love and high vibrations.
Okay, I trust you.
Well, thank you.
Make sure I breathe.
Yes, please do. I don't want you passing out on the podcast. Also, it's going to be very important for you to have empathy and compassion and to see from everybody's perspective or point of view. And I'll make sure that I guide you through that as well. Now, every single event that we visit and observe is a breakthrough that you're going to have. It's a trigger that you're going to be getting rid of. And we want to get rid of as many triggers as possible. We want to have as many breakthroughs as possible. Okay. All right. So it's very important for you to go ahead and go to as many memories as possible when the time is right. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's get it. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this limiting belief that I'm not good enough today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, that will cause this problem to disappear. If you were to know, when was the first time that you felt, though, I'm not good enough when you were just a little kid? How old were you?
Man, I might have been about 7 or 8.
That's perfect. Do you have a specific event in mind?
I got in trouble for something at school, and I think I was called stupid. And like, why are you like this?
Do you remember who said these things?
It's one of my parents.
Got
I won't
you.
say who.
No. That's right. There ain't no reason to be a snitch on here. I'm kidding.
Stitches.
Stitches, yo.
I'm still scared about that belt.
Real tough. All right. So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, for sure. And that was when you're about 7 or 8. Got it. Okay. So with that, we can go ahead and visit that event to go ahead and get rid of your limiting belief. Now we're going to create an imaginary timeline. Now with your timeline, your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. If you were to know, where's your past?
Behind me.
Where's your future?
In front of me. Perfect.
Now you can close your eyes, relax, and let me know when you're ready for the process.
I'm ready.
All right. Now just imagine. You're okay. Just imagine floating outside of your body as if though you were a spirit or energy. And just imagine seeing yourself from a third person point of view right here, right now. See your I Love Me shirt and the blue microphone in front of you and the headphones on your head. See the gold lamp behind you and your bookshelf to your right and the window to your left. Okay. Let me know when you can see yourself from a third person point of view.
I can see myself.
Awesome. Now just keep your eyes closed until I ask you to open them. And just imagine floating up above your timeline and float behind you into the past and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past above that first event in which you felt as though I'm not good enough when you were just a little girl. And just hover above that event, seeing that event with you as that little girl and your parents, and just see yourself like a fly on the wall. Let me know when you can see yourself as that little girl and see that whole event.
I see myself, my 2 ponytails and all.
Awesome. Just stay right there. Now, just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? Be sure to see from the perspective of yourself as that little girl and her consciousness at the time, and also from the perspective of your parents and their consciousness. And focus your attention upon how hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from other people's actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage and whatever they're going through at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. What is something positive and empowering you could tell yourself as that little girl and your parents and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that would allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day? And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone.
They're all gone.
Awesome. Now, with you observing the event, Tell me, what did you learn from the event?
I learned that my parents were doing what they could with me and doing their best in that moment, what they thought was right, and the way the situation happened, and that feeling or whatever it is they were going through was partially projected onto me, and I don't need to take it that personally. Maybe I was going through something at the time, I don't know what, but I eventually grew out of that.
Awesome. What is something that you can take from that event into the future to make you a better person?
That people don't always mean what they say or how they come at you. That we are all going through things, and it's really not me. It's not always about me. It's about them.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and floating to the past and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs.
I'm above the dinosaurs.
Awesome. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, just imagine floating into space. Float deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
Now, just imagine floating there in space, weightless, and ask yourself now, where are the emotions? Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared now?
They disappeared.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating down inside the event, seeing through your own eyes as a little girl and check on the emotions. Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared now?
They've disappeared.
Awesome. Float back above the dinosaurs and then float into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
All right, listen closely. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt as though I'm not good enough. From birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip one event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of that limiting belief all the way back to now. And don't come back to now until that limiting belief is all gone. And when it's all gone, you let me know.
I think I'm there. I'm back.
All good?
All good.
Awesome. Flow down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready.
Ooh, a little misty.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Oh, wow. Like, it's not me. I said it's not me. It was never me.
It's not you.
Yeah, like the problem, like the issue at hand, like all these different scenarios, because it wasn't just me by myself, it was other people and their perspectives and their emotions. And now I'm able to understand those emotions, like that, just how they were feeling at that time in that moment that had nothing to do with me sometimes. And I was just taking it that way because I didn't understand. You drink some water on that.
So you realized that you were seeing from their perspective.
A little more, the best that I could. And that everybody's going through something, just like I am. And not everybody is always mindful of that and trying to put their best foot forward. Like they're probably put their best foot forward in that moment, but it might not be their best. And that's okay because we're human. Ooh, a little missed again. Dang, it's deep. Realizing it, like you realize it when you say it, but you don't realize it when you go back to those moments. Like it's something about going back in those moments and thinking about that and where they're putting yourself in their shoes.
Tell us about putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, putting yourself in their shoes, because sometimes it's people's first experience having that experience. It's both of your first times, and not everybody knows how to go about a first experience with something. And they might have an initial knee-jerk reaction because, sometimes our homeostasis or our base mindset isn't always our best self if we haven't practiced to evolve our knee-jerk reactions to things, because sometimes people just get upset, and it's not their fault. Like, I mean, we can all work on that, but at the same time, it's like we're human, like that happens. And it wasn't my fault. Like it like what happened, like the actions that I did, yes, but I take responsibility for that. But the coming together of it, it's almost like, I don't say a perfect storm because it isn't a storm, but basically, and that's just what it is. And I wasn't at the age to understand these things and these concepts.
Right.
And like now I do, and telling myself that it's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna love yourself someday. You're gonna be a great person. You're doing so much in the future. You have a well-lived life. Like, don't worry about this. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Like, you're learning who they are.
Right.
And that's fine. And just take this information and remember it, but don't hold on to it as if it's your fault, because it's not.
It looks like you gave yourself a bit of grace for where you were at the time.
Yes, a lot of grace. And that's one thing I know I have a hard time. I give other people more grace than I give myself. And I feel like I gave myself a lot of grace that was overdue.
How's that feel?
It feels really, really, real good. I can't say the words I want to say right now.
Why not? No, this is Drop Your Baggage podcast. You can say what you want.
I don't want to be cussing.
I don't care.
Storm right now. Really
unless somebody that you know is going to listen to this.
No, I don't care. No, it feels really fucking good. Like, it feels fucking amazing. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, I was like taking myself like out of my body, going back, and and picturing like myself in the room of each event. First of all, the original event in the room, it's like I could feel the carpet under my feet, like, you know, as I was floating over my body, and I could see the things that were in the room or like in the house, and like how it looked, and like feeling those feelings again for a second. But then slowing down, you could probably hear me breathing. I was slowing down and breathing, and I was just like, all right, they're going through something right now. I don't know what, but you can feel it and you can perceive it, but you don't understand. And it's okay that you don't understand what's going on. It's not for you. Stay where you're at and enjoy your childhood more, which I did. And like, forgive them and forgive yourself for internalizing that moment.
Right.
And then it kept happening. It was kind of like a very similar theme in each event. Forgiving them and yourself, and like telling yourself like, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's all right. You're going to love yourself. You love yourself. You're going to live life, all this stuff. And then like thinking about what's going on at the time and how they're feeling. Like, you know, I felt those emotions before. Not knowing what to do and being scared and trying to react the best way I can in that particular situation, because we've all done it. And then it's like, we're all human. Like, it's okay. Like, it's better to do something than to do nothing.
Right.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad that they reacted and did something, because some people don't get anything. And like, I'm grateful for them for doing that. It sucks. Yes, because I felt the way I felt, but now I'm like, it makes sense. Like, I get it. I see you. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head when I was looking at I see you. Every single person, like, I see you. It's cool. Yeah. You know, it's not cool, but it's cool. Like, can't change anything, but I accept.
It looks like they did it out of either love or fear.
Exactly. And a lot of people do things from a place of fear, and I understand that. And based off of their own limiting beliefs at that sometimes, or even the limiting beliefs to somebody else. Yeah. And just having that knee-jerk like reaction, like, and not everybody's doing things intentionally. Like, some people, they always say people have these intentions. Some people don't have any intention.
No, right.
And I don't think there were any intentions behind so many things that I internalized over the years.
Wow, what a revelation.
Yeah. I can't be mad at that. Like, thinking about it now, and all these years that I had all this animosity and anger like built up for a long time. Yeah. It's just like, they didn't do that intentionally. Like, it was that they didn't plan that. They didn't think this was going to happen. Nobody thinks certain things like this are going to happen. Like, it's unexpected. So I can't sit and just really be wholeheartedly mad about it. Yeah. Getting people's ass. I'm not about to get in their ass for some stuff that we learning together. Like,
no, that's right.
I can't be mad. People don't come with handbooks. You know, there's books, but people don't, like, individuals do not come with handbooks. We're all people, and we got to stay flexible. And I'm more flexible now because I didn't have that pliability back then, you know.
What is your internal conversation like now? What is the internal dialogue that you have now about things from the past or things from the future in which you might have felt as though I'm not good enough?
That it's not about being good enough or not good enough. It's just about allowing myself to be and not hold myself back and cater to people because of fear, because I didn't want to do anything wrong, because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And then when I did try to stand in my truth, like, it's okay to have stood in my truth in those moments and try to have that courage, but not for me to not back down, because backing down wasn't going to change the truth. Yeah. And if people accept it, they do it. If they don't, that these people are still going to love me regardless. Or if they don't, then it wasn't worth it.
That's deep, yo.
Yeah.
Super deep. So let's test it out. Do you smell biscuits?
I don't think so. I smell
Okay.
hard too. I was like, wait a minute, Popeye's up in here.
I asked that to get your mind off the meditation.
Oh, okay.
Because smell is the strongest sense, one of the strongest senses that we have.
You saw me, was like,
when I ask people because I ask people if they smell bacon or chicken, but biscuits have people like take a strong whiff. Like anyway.
Did.
Can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion? And go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot.
I'm thinking about it. I don't feel the same way I felt about it.
How's that feeling in your chest?
I don't have it right now at all. Like, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It was like, it's cool. Like,
yeah.
Just another thought.
Yeah.
Dang. Like, it's like, I'm not even like, oh. Like, I'm not even cowering. Like, I feel in my posture. I know sometimes I'll do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't feel that. I don't feel angry.
I want you to go out I want you to imagine going out into the future, to an unspecified time in the future, in which if the same thing would have happened in the past, you would have felt as though I'm not good enough. But it's the future now. See if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
No, it is what it is. Somebody don't like it. Keep it moving.
Congratulations. You just released a limiting belief.
What? Yo, that's wild. That's wild. What? Yo, everybody needs to be doing this. Oh man, we need to come to LA. We need to go to Venice. We need to set up the mics. We putting up the booths.
Let's go.
We about to televise this. The revolution will be televised.
Hey, say no more. Explain how you're feeling right now.
I feel liberated. Like I feel free. Like I sat and thought. I think about all these moments. Like some of this shit literally was bothering me last week.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it now. I'm just like, all right. Like I'm not even like I don't even like I was ruminating on it and it was super easy. Like as soon as I thought about it, I wasn't able to move through the thought. Like that makes sense. Like I would just sit and think about it, be like, why would they even say that?
Yeah.
Why would they do that to me? Why you gotta be like, I can do it. No, I don't care right now. It's kind of like, okay. Maybe whatever they were going through in their own perspective. That's it. That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
At all. Like is damn.
Why are you so shocked?
Because like if you knew my mind, sometimes I would just really think like, damn, why people feel like this? Like to me, like why they feel like I'm not good enough, or why do people think I can't do something? It's not even that. They just said what they were saying and what was on their mind, and it had nothing to do with me personally. They just don't understand how my mind works, and they don't have to understand how my mind works. But I can have empathy and be like to think about it in a deeper level and be like, okay, they got whatever process is going on in their mind. They trying to put a square into a circle, and in their mind things might not fit, but because I have true sight and I have bigger sight, that shouldn't stop me from my flow.
Ooh. You
know what I mean?
Ooh.
Sorry, damn, that was hard.
Yeah.
Over here beating on the glass table. No, that's facts. Like this is damn, it just happened like literally, like it wasn't a snap of the fingers. It took time, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's just
I can't explain it.
A total shift in consciousness.
And I'm like, damn, I'm about to have conversations about this. I'm about to call some folks. I mean, look, y'all need to get up on this, okay? I got a friend right now. I'm like, girl, this could be your birthday present. I know, like I feel like everybody needs this for something.
Yeah. That's why that's why we're on this podcast, because you got to show people that it works. You got to show them that it's possible.
I can't be like, you don't even know. Like, no, obviously, like, listen, y'all listening right now, y'all don't even know. Like, when you really just sit with it, the out of body experience, imagining it, you can probably try to do it on your own, but it's not going to be exactly the same.
Nah.
Because sometimes you try to do stuff in your mind. It doesn't work like that. It's like you need assistance.
Yeah.
And like when you were guiding me, like, I know you're repeating stuff, and I wasn't catching it, all of it at first, the first time around, but then the second time I would like catch it in pieces. So I'll get the beginning bit and I would be doing the work and floating. And like it felt like unlocking, it was like Inception. And I'm like, oh my, and I'm just like, okay, I'm outside of my body. The gold lamp, the red shirt. All right, up. Go back to that time. And I went all the way back. And it was just like I could just, it just felt like I was there.
Yeah.
Like physically in my house.
Yeah.
Oh man. I was like there. And then the dinosaur, like going, I don't know what, everything just went back. And then thinking about it's the empathy. Like that was
yes.
It. Thank you so much. That's like the key piece. Because you got to be able to if I was still like really angry, I don't know if I'd be able to do all that.
Yeah,
I probably could. That's like the empathy, like, because the icing on the cake.
Always.
Yo, I have a whole new perspective right now on all of that, because that's a big chunk of my life.
Decades.
Like literally, like
decades.
Damn. Like decades. Yo, this is crazy. Like if you understood, like I was just having a conversation about like one of the most recent things as I was coming back to this, and then it just thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Of course.
Listen, that's wild. That's wild as hell.
Oh my gosh. And we got there's always so much work to do, but like just because you're so aware of the limiting beliefs and how it felt and the mind body connection, everything that's, and also you've been doing the work, right? You've been doing the work, but the limiting belief was still always like, watch this, it was always there. It was always there. Always. And for it to finally be silenced, that feels good, yo.
It does. Like I don't even hear it. I'm just like, I'm about to go start writing for my episodes like right now.
Yes. And that's like, the thing too. It clears out bandwidth because there's lack of doubt. There's no doubt. It's just like, okay, we can do this. Go, just go.
We can do it all. Like,
yes. Oh,
I like this. I like this new. This is like actually version 22.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you. Yep. I can't even explain it. Like I can explain bits and pieces, but the feeling is like, I don't think I've ever like felt like this probably since I was like real young before any of this happened.
Yeah.
So what is it? 0 through 7 are like the developmental stages, like the psychosocial stages of development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The feeling is ineffable. Like, and that's where I can't tell people, because I can describe, like you can do years of personal development and years of therapy and have multiple breakthroughs within minutes, but that sounds like fugazi. That sounds like hyperbole. You know what I mean? But it's like,
which is like we literally just did this in like 30 minutes, like maybe 40. But it would like this is done more for me than therapy did. Like for real. Like what? I've been trying to work on this. I've been trying to read books. Like, why am I like this?
That's a good point right there. Let's not like skim over that. How long have you been going to therapy and reading the books and working on that limiting belief in particular?
Man, I've been in therapy and reading books and stuff for well over 6-7 years. Yeah, like at least I'll say 7 years.
Yeah.
And I've been reading and like YouTube and heavy, like trying different types of meditation, even the meditation that Dr. Joe Dispenza has. Like, part of it is kind of similar, but it's not this, like for this particular thing. And like sometimes they'll be in therapy like, well, just think about that time. Like, what would you tell your younger self? Okay, I tell myself this, but it's more than that. Like I literally need to have that act of forgiveness on both parties. And then just the mind body feel of everything, and be able to identify the emotion that it makes me feel, be able to like all of that is tied together, all of these pieces to flip it into a positive and accept it, versus me holding on to like therapy be looking like, all right, whatever. Or they'll say, write everything you're feeling on a piece of paper and then burn it. Like what? And I'll be like, all right, cool. Try it. Journal about it. Okay, what's next? Like you keep giving me other things, but none of these things are working. Or release balloons. First of all, that's horrible for the environment.
I know, right? You mean
California
pollute?
pollute. Exactly. Let's contribute to climate change today. The ice caps are melting in Antarctica because I'm throwing balloons in the air.
Oh,
you know
gosh.
I mean? But there's so many things they'll say, and it's just like, it's not some things I'm not gonna lie, downplay therapy or anything. Yes. Some things they do work. However, it's not that like this. I think therapy helps you with coping with stuff, but this like literally helps you get over something that you've been holding on. I've been holding on to this 28 years. 28. Wow. A lot of my life. A lot of my life living in fear, a lot of my life doing things for people, quote unquote, walking on eggshells. I didn't even have to be walking on eggshells. I didn't even have to. I can only imagine the shit I could have been doing by now. I could have been there. But you know what? It's okay. I'm grateful.
Exactly.
I'm grateful to be at this point right now.
That's right. And there's so much that you are going to do.
Exactly.
That you have plans.
And then some. Yes. And I don't feel held back by it. Like I'm pretty, like, I don't know. I feel like I have a jolt of energy. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, okay, I got to go do something. I got to go. Let me go work on something real quick. Like I feel like my creativity is flowing right now.
Yes. That's because like the amount of mental storage is not bogged down by these negative beliefs.
That's wild. I'm gonna stop saying wild. Like,
it is.
It is. I studied a little bit of NLP, but I haven't like really delved into it like fully. Ooh, this is I'm about to say, this is inspiring my some more episodes and some YouTube content that I got coming up anyway, especially on emotional intelligence.
And I would love to be a guest on the Love.me podcast too. What's up?
You definitely will. Listen, we're gonna talk about self-talk, and we're gonna talk about NLP and how you helped me drop my baggage just now.
Let's get it. Hey, you are so awesome. Thank you also congratulations. You are officially a baggage dropper.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm happy. Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the help.
Yes. And please give the audience one more word of wisdom.
One more word of wisdom. Can I tell a story?
Yes.
All right. So there's a husband and wife, and they're at home in the kitchen. There's a window in front of the sink, and the husband is washing dishes, and the wife comes up and she says, "Hey, look at the neighbor's windows. Their windows are so dirty. Laundry is dirty on their clothesline. I wonder if the wife knows how to properly wash the windows and wash the laundry." And the husband's like, "I don't know. I don't think we need to tell him." And then the next day he's washing dishes again, and she comes by and he says to her, "Oh, hey, baby, I cleaned the windows of the house, the kitchen window." And what it was is basically their perspective was dirty, and it was their house that was dirty and not the neighbor's laundry and windows that were dirty. So it's basically take care of yourself in your own home before you try to take care of somebody else or somebody else's home, and just look at your perspective, because it just might be skewed, and it's not your fault, but it's your level of awareness to what's going on around you.
Amen. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you
for showing up for you. Of course, girl. Hey, and thank you all so much for your attention and your support. I love you all so much with all my heart. If you are here, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and some feedback as well. Right here on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and show you a technique that can help you cope. I am your host, the self-talk engineer, undefeated, undisputed self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork, and our special guest, Ashley Franklin. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself and take care of one another. Peace.